Continuing on.
So I take my tray where I have my 10 ml culture tube, and then I take my pipette min, a box of pipette tips, and also and that's it. And then I go into the freezer room, and I open the negative 80-degree freezer, and I pull up the box.
So I take all of my necessary material and go into the room where it's extremely cold, and I open up. I open up the storage um, appliance that is housing my culture or bacteria.
the the deep box where the bacteria is stored, and so then I pull out the box, and then I look for number 32. So then I take out my little tube which has number 32 on it, and then I put the rest of the box. I close the box and put it back in the freezer because you don't want all the other things to be thawing out at once. So you make sure to close that, and then so I have my pipette with.
So my container full of various material. I search for the one that I'm working with, which is number 32.
My box of pipette tips, and then so I scrape a little bit. Using my pipette tip, I scrape a little bit of the NCMV B71 with the end of my tip and put a little chunk of that into the 3 mils of LB plus amp. So then I put that in there, and then I pipette up and pipette down in order to remove anything that might have gotten stuck in the pipette. And then if the glycerol stock is too frozen and you can't isolate a chunk, then you remove.
Okay, so I'm not sure what the pipe head up, pipe head down is. I will take a stab at this one. She is uh, se- um, she is separating the material, the culture. Yeah, that's one I have to write in the body of the email.
Then you take out some of the LB, pipette up, and squirt some of that room temperature LB into the frozen glycerol stock in order to soften it, so you have kind of like a slushy mush. And then you can remove some of the bacteria that's frozen there because it's softened. And then you can.
So this material, you want to soften it up, and taking some of my LB and putting it into that will help slushy it up.
Remove a chunk from there. So then after you've done that, you scrape a little bit and then put it into the LB amp, and then you twist the cover back on and put it back in the negative 80-degree freezer. So only that has maybe chilled a little bit, gotten maybe a little bit warmer. So then you put it back, make sure nothing else is thawed, and then so you have that into solution because it defrosts pretty quickly. So you have your bugs in solution.
So you want to put your culture or this form of bacteria into a liquid.
And then you make sure to dispose of your pipette tip in the biohazardous waste because it's biohazardous and you don't want anything else to be growing out of there. And then you take the 3 ml culture tube that's labeled and you put it into the shaker room. And the shaker room is where my bugs will grow overnight. But
make sure you dispose of all harmful material because you do not want any extra. You do not want any extra growth, or you don't want any extra foreign. You don't want any foreign bacteria sprouting inside the culture, inside the container.
When I'm doing a small culture, first of all, you need to turn down the shaker so that it's not turning so fast. So then you turn it down, and then you wait till it comes to a complete stop. And after that, you put the 10 ml culture tube on the shaker. Then you turn it up, and then you close the door. It's kept at 37 degrees, and so you make sure that the shaker comes on again, because a lot of people have different stuff growing on there.
So this incubator isolator, you want to put the bacteria on there and close the door. You want to make sure that the temperature is cold, specifically 32. Okay.
And after that, after it's done, then you let it incubate for about 6 to 7 hours, or however long you're working there. And so you need to inoculate a big culture. And right before you leave, you take the small culture. You have 3 mils, and then you take the small culture and separate that.
Okay. So before you dismiss yourself, you make sure you are creating a big tube of bacteria. Okay.